All right, Hawks, welcome back. I think we're on now video number 10, and this will be for like pre-assembly. So previously, we have talked about how to cut and prepare the boards to make our seat. That seat portion is ready to roll. We have talked about cutting all our pieces roughly for our legs, our upper and lower cross pieces, and today we're going to be talking about kind of doing the sub-assembly of one of the two legs. These theoretically will fit together like so, and when we attach our other two legs, we will have the base where the X or cross piece will then fit in underneath. So, moving from our individual pieces, we want to talk about preparing these for our sub-assembly, which again, theoretically should look like this, where we've got the upper piece, we've got our 5-degree angle on here, the tops of our legs is nice and level, that way we'll sit lovely on our tabletop when we start assembling. So, processes of getting things ready to be assembled is really to assess the pieces, okay? So here I have two legs. You can potentially see here on the top of this leg, or the outer section of this leg, compared to the one here on my right, your left. You can see the top, or the outer edges have been routed or rounded over, okay? So if we cut these nice and square, we've got these hard edges. The question is, when we put those on the outside, do you want a hard edge on the outside? Do you want a soft edge? Okay. Notice how where these come together, there is a square corner here. So we don't want to route the inside edges where we would see a gap. Okay. So again, thinking about how the pieces are going to fit together, what we want to do to prepare them. Okay. So on this particular leg, I've routed the outside edges, I've sanded, and I have marks for the screw locations on the outside corners. So since this leg is ready to roll, I'm going to put that off to the side. Let's talk about a raw leg and potentially a raw cross piece. Okay. So we've previously jointed, planed, ripped for width. We put our bevels on there, and we've created our dado. Now, prior to finishing with this and starting our assembly, it's a good time for us to assess the piece, right? Do I want to use a router and round over any edges? Do I want to use a sander to remove layout marks and other rough areas? Okay, so on this one, I can see that there's some marks down below. Ooh, look at that. I haven't pre-drilled for a counter bore yet. Okay, so I do still have to do that over here. I might want to clean up some of these rough edges, right? So since I still have a drilling procedure, let's go over to our drill press and let's talk about that, okay? At the end of the day, we're going to be putting a screw through this to hold the top in place from below. We're going to have to do some math. This is supposed to be 3 inches tall. If we want the counter bore to go halfway through, half of 3 is 1.5. And then if I use a screw that's 2 inches, 1.5 plus a half gives me a 2-inch screw. And if my tabletop is not 2 inches thick, it's going to poke through the bottom. So we might want to go a little bit less deep, depending upon how thick your board is and what size screw you're going to use. In this case, I'm going to do a 1.25 inch deep, and which I'll verify here on our drill press shortly. So I'm going to move this board, and let's review the zeroing process on our drill press, right? So if I bring this bit down to meet that surface flat, you see that we've got a number. I'm going to zero this when that bit is in contact with the board. So now when I do my drill, depending on how deep I want to go, I should end up getting a negative number telling me I've gone down below a certain depth. So if I bring that over here into the other side, let's bring that down till it bottoms out. And it looks like I'm about 1.25, 1.2, 1.25, somewhere in there, again, depending on how hard I press. So that's 1.25 inches deep, okay? Hopefully you can kind of see that there, okay? Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but pretty close. So I'm going to turn the piece around, and you have to do this on 2 of these upper braces, and I'm going to locate the center using the point of my counter board, right? And that's about where I want to zero it out. So I'm touching there. So I'm gonna hold that piece in place, hit the start button, and I wanna work my way down, cut a little bit, clear the chips by bringing it back up. I'm gonna work that back and forth, kind of that same process until I get to my desired depth, which in this case is gonna be 1.2, 1.25, something like that. Okay, so again, take your time, let the bit go in, clear the chips until we get to our desired depth. Almost there. Okay. So I now should have two corresponding countersink holes, which will take the head of our screw and let it go down much lower. Again, the depth here, or the overall height, is gonna be of a concern, because if I go too long with the screw, I'm gonna poke through my top, and then you'll be sad. Sad, okay? So let's head back over. Now that we have prepared our cross brace, I might wanna sand it. So I can see that there's some layout marks left over, got some marks underneath, maybe there's a little mark on the side here. I wanna try to clean that stuff up. Keep in mind, depending upon the grit of sandpaper you use, we've got 80, looks like we've got a 220 here, looks like there's a 320, and hopefully there'll be like 150 grit on the way. The lower the number, or the closer it is to zero, the rougher it is, which means it's gonna remove more material quickly. So if I'm on this board and I'm on an edge like this, it's going to bevel that edge. So if I want something to be nice and flat, nice and square corner, I want to make sure that I am parallel right on top of that surface. Again, a reminder on our sander, we've got speed control, and I want to let the tool do the work. Keep that sander moving. You don't want to stay in one place too long. Again, our goal here is to get rid of the marks, since I still see those marks. Still see them, no light. Those look like they are gone there. Now, again, in the interest of speed, that one's gone. Looks like there's a little bit of markings down the side. I've got markings on edges that are gonna get covered up. So I'm mostly concerned about surfaces that I could potentially see. I do see a little bit here on the bottom. Time permitting, I would probably sand this as well. Again, keeping an eye on any of these corners where there might be chip out or tear out. I wanna try to smooth that stuff around, okay? So let's pretend that that piece is ready to roll. Let's take a look again at our leg. So I notice that there are some holes that are not drilled yet. We'll be doing that with our countersink bit here when we're working on assembly. But right now, since I have 4 square edges, I want to round over these top 2 edges, okay? And we've talked about this before where we're using our router. This will be a little bit different of a procedure here since this board is relatively thin and narrow. We always want to work in a counterclockwise fashion. So I don't want to hold this and work that tool close to my hand. So preferably I'd have 2 hands on the router to keep my hand safe. However, on this board, we either need to maybe support far away and we might have to switch hands, or we could go get a clamp and clamp that board into place, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. But you want to keep your hands away from that spinning blade. So I'm going to work probably from this corner and go over a little bit, so right on the edge, and go to the left, which would be counterclockwise, sorry, that's clockwise, and then I'm going to work from there all the way down. We'll do the same simpler procedure here. Start in this little corner, go right, and come back left, okay? Like right about there, I missed a little section, so I'm gonna go back over. at the end of the day, I'm looking to get those nice rounded corners because that's the treatment that I was looking for, okay? Don't generally want to leave square corners. Those will get dented real easy, could give you splinters. So again, it's nice to round those over. Again, just like we did on the previous block, if there's stuff on the leg that I want to take care of, I may want to come back with a sander. You may find that maybe the transition here is not great. A technique to handle rounded over corners would be to go flat and then maybe rotate slightly, just kind of keep moving back and forth around the arc or that corner. So something like this. Right, gotta do a little roll. So I can kind of smooth over those edges that I cut. Okay, again, what you do, how much time you spend sanding, that's gonna have an impact on your final product. So let's say my legs are both ready. I've got my cross piece ready. Now it's time for assembly, okay? Keeping in mind that when these objects come together, we should have a flat bottom. That way it will line up nicely on the underside of my tabletop. So my recommendation for this assembly is to use a clamp, okay? And my goal on the clamp, if these boards are the same width, which hopefully they are, this will allow me to clamp these two boards together nice and tight. I can check alignment on the bottom, and that board will be held in place so I can now do my drilling. This is our cordless drill driver. Again, this is a countersink bit as opposed to our counter bore. The goal here is this tapered section. I want that to go into the material far enough that the head of a screw will be held below the surface of the final product, okay? So, biggest thing when using a tool like this is there's nothing other than me, unless I'm using a tool, to help me go in straight and parallel. If I go in on an angle, I can come out through the side. If I go on an angle, I might hit the screw above or below it. So, biggest thing here is get a good frame of reference. Start that on the point that you have marked. Again, we laid out for measuring the center. Find where the center is left and right, and then the drawings have measurements. I believe it's 1 inch up and then 1.25 inches from there. So we find the center of the holes. We're going to line up the drill bit, and we're going to, again, do the best that you can, aligning things straight. Pre-drill 1. This is a little tighter here, so I'm gonna go off the edge so I've got a better angle. Okay, get that lined up with my center. So I have 2 pre-drilled holes. I will then change my countersink bit to a star driver that hopefully corresponds with the end of the screw that I'm using. That looks like it works to me. And I will now screw these legs together. Again, if I went in on an angle and I use a very long screw, it is possible that that screw could come out on an angle. So hopefully we did a little pre-work to make sure that we're going in hopefully straight enough that nothing comes out the side. And then I can unclamp. All right, so I have one of the 2 legs on. I'm not gonna continue the video on the second leg. We'll attach that one. This orientation, in the next video, we're gonna do final assembly. See you on video 11.